All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to day two. What is this now? Day two of the podcast. Let's go. 2 days consistent. So, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Not Serious podcast. I'm your host, Drew Chandler, for episode 2. Let's freaking go, dude. We made it day 2, chat. Let's go. Yeah, man. We have a great show for you tonight. This one is actually, it's funny because this one is actually like written out and like well put. Yesterday, if you guys tuned into the stream, it was just totally crazy. It was actually retarded. So today we have a great show for you guys, though. I'm excited. We're going to be talking all about Trump letting 600,000 Chinese students into the U.S. to basically steal American student spots. We're going to be talking about that. And look, to be honest with you, I really don't want to talk about this next topic because I think it's just like brain rot. I think it's so dumb. But everybody wants to talk about it, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the new Cracker Barrel logo that everybody is literally freaking out over on Twitter and just all online. That's like the only thing that people seem to care about anymore. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're also going to be talking about ChatGPT facing a lawsuit because somebody self-deleted. So it'll be cool. It'll be cool, man. I'm excited to talk about the topics tonight. Again, like I said, not so much hyped about the Cracker Barrel. I don't really get it, man. I don't understand the hype. Maybe you guys do in chat. If you guys have something to say, just say it in chat, and I'll read your guys' stuff. But I just don't understand the hype, to be honest with you, over the whole Cracker Barrel logo rebrand. Like, do I like it? No. But at the same time, like, I'm not going to make it my only mission in life to, like, bitch and complain about the Cracker Barrel logo. You know, it's like, that's all people are doing online. It's like, dude, did you see the Cracker Barrel logo? Did you see they changed it? It's like, yes, dude, yes, we all saw it. We all witnessed it. We all experienced it. It was something crazy, I'll tell you. It was insane. It was crazy. So, unfortunately, we're going to talk about that. But yeah, this first story we have here is kind of crazy because this is a big departure from what Trump originally ran on. So we're going to read the story here on AP. This is an AP. Wrong screen. Trump saying 600,000 Chinese students could come to the U.S. draws MAGA backlash. The article goes on to say, President Donald Trump seemingly caught his loyal conservative base off guard and sparked backlash by saying he would allow 600,000 Chinese students into American universities. That would be a departure for the Trump administration after it added new vetting for student visas, moved to block foreign enrollment at Harvard, and expanded the grounds for terminating international students' ability to study in the United States. Secretary of State Marco Rubio has singled out China, the second highest source of international students in the U.S., saying in May that the State Department would revoke visas for students tied to the Chinese Communist Party and boost vetting of new applicants. Now, I just want to stop here in this article and say, like, this might be like the funniest flip-flop of this administration so far. Because when you really think about it, what is the like Republicans like call to fame? Like, what are they notoriously known for calling out? It's the Tricoms. It's some damn Chinese. They're taking over everything. It's the Tricoms. They're taking it all over. They're gonna destroy us, right? That is like the GOP. That is like the Republicans' main talking point. Okay, that is like all that they care about. They could literally the U.S. could be bought out by a foreign country that is in the Middle East somewhere and happens to have a lot of Jewish people in it, and is maybe its name is Israel, and they could care less, right? But whenever it comes to China, this is like we got to get China, we got to be tough on China, right? And then the leader of the Republican Party, Donald Trump, is letting 600,000 of their students come in and like literally steal all of our information. All right, this is kind of a big deal. All right, and whenever I say steal information, what do I mean? Well, I mean that they're coming here, they're using our resources to study, especially in the age of AI. Makes no sense. If we're in an AI race, like Donald Trump says that we are, why in the hell would you let one of our number one competitors, China, in AI, come study at our universities and take the information that they learn here back to China and not apply it here? That's what they all do. That's what they all do every single time without exception. Okay? It's not like they come here and they study and they're like, oh, wow, look at this. We're going to learn all this stuff. We're going to keep it here in the U.S. No, dude. They are Chinese students. They are Chinese students at heart, too. And they're going to take all the stuff that they learned, and they're going to take it back to the country that they are loyal to. And it's not the U.S. It's going to be China. So it's just the whole thing is just so goofy to me right off the start. That was one of my first thoughts. I was like, this is like the Republican Party's like name to fame. This is like all that they talk about. They talk about the Chi-Coms nonstop. And yet when it comes to letting Chinese students into the US, the leader, the so-called dictator of the Republican Party, right, is just going to let it happen and actually defends it. So, and even his staff is defending it too, which we're going to watch a clip here in a second, watching them defend it. So I think the whole thing is just so goofy. Again, let me know what you guys think in chat. Let's see here. Stro Obama in chat says he's doing it so the made in China products he made in the USA. I mean, there may be some truth to that. I know Trump had mentioned that one of the reasons he's doing it is because of the tariff deal they have going on, and maybe he's feeling sympathetic towards China. But I guess my rebuttal to that would be like, why? Why be sympathetic towards China? Why? They've been screwing us over all these years. We need to be tough on them. Why are we giving them a walk in the park? That makes absolutely no sense. So, total insanity, man. Total craziness. So yeah, we'll go ahead and continue here in the article. Back to the wrong screen on accident. Dang. It says here, Trump's announcement Monday adds to the confusion about the administration's restrictive visa policies and its approach to China as a superpower's tussle over trade and intensifying tech competition, as the article, like I pointed out just a second ago. It also marks another divide with figures in Trump's Make America Great Again base who tout an America First agenda and had contested the U.S. inserting itself in the recent Israel-Iran war. Me, right here. I'm one of the opponents of this. This is dumb. And also to the Iran war, that was dumb as well. So right here, here's what Trump said. So we can kind of get an idea. Here's what Trump said. Trump said, quote, President Xi would like me to come to China, okay? It's a very important relationship. As you know, we take a lot of money from China because of the tariffs and different things. I hear so many stories about we're not going to allow their students, but we're going to allow their students to come in. We're going to allow it. It's very important. 600,000 students, okay? Okay. So that's kind of what Trump said. And Stro, that might be correlated to what you were saying about how Trump wants to keep relations up with China, right? So we can get a lot of their goods. And how maybe he sees this as like a step in the right direction with a relationship with China. But again, I mean, it just goes back to what I was saying, like why? China's been screwing us over for as long as I've been alive, pretty much. I mean, for the past 21 years, I mean, China's been screwing us relentlessly, definitely more than that. And yet we're just going to allow their students to come in here and to steal all of our education, essentially, right? It's dumb. Trump doubled down at a cabinet meeting Tuesday, sitting next to Rubio, where he said he was honored to have Chinese students to the U.S. and said they help colleges stay afloat. I told President Xi we're honored to have their students here, Trump said. Now with that, we check, we're careful, we see who is there, right? Because we always just let people into the country and vet them, right? All the illegal immigrants. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said that Trump told Xi in a June phone call, the U.S. loves to have Chinese students coming to study in America. Oh, I bet they do. I bet they do love to have Chinese students coming to America. If I was the president of China, I would love to have them. I would love to have my students who are loyal to my country go into another country and use their resources, bring back what the professors over there are teaching them and bring it back to us, right? I would love that if I was, yeah, of course. Of course Xi Jinping loves that. Of course he does. Yeah, no duh. So, the whole thing to me is just so goofy. I know I keep saying that over and over again, but it just really is such a betrayal of the base and everything that MAGA once was. MAGA used to be truly putting America first, right? That was what Trump ran on the first time, the second time, and the third time, right? And now we're in the third term. We're not even We're not even a year in, maybe just a little bit over a year into this presidency. And what have we gotten out of it? It's been nothing but disappointment. And, I tweeted this out earlier on Twitter, and I said, why do we keep voting for Republicans? What have we ever gotten out of this relationship with the Republicans? They suck. They're terrible. What do they what do they even tell us? What do they even tell us anymore? They're all like, oh, well, we need to vote Republican because we can't let the Democrats get it. Okay, and your point, sir? Your point? I don't get it. I don't get. Okay, we don't need to let the Democrats get it. It's like you guys are just as bad as the Democrats. You guys suck. You guys let the country go to hell. Just along with the boomers and along with the Democrats. All you guys suck. There's like maybe a handful of Republicans that I can pick out of my mind right now and say like, yeah, like these guys are solid. They're doing a great job. But other than that, man, I mean, like really, who is there besides like maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene and, you know, freaking Thomas Massey and I don't know. I mean, that's about as far as I can go, you know, as like truly being America first. So yeah, this whole administration is just terrible. And you know, the whole argument, it's so funny that, you know, we touched on this in the article, but they bring up the argument that like, well, you know, actually, I'll tell you what. Let's just play this clip first because it explains the situation way better than I can. We'll play this clip from Fox News with Laura Ingraham on it. Here we go.
How is allowing 600,000 students from the communist country of China putting America first?
Well, the president's point of view is that what would happen if you didn't have those 600,000 students is that you'd empty them from the top. All the students would go up to better schools, and the bottom 15% of universities and colleges would go out of business in America. So
listen, we have to keep them here. We have to do it. We have to keep all the Chinese students in our universities because if we don't, then they're going to go somewhere else. We have to do it to them.
Taking a rational economic view, which is classic Donald Trump, looking at higher education and saying,
but why are you
until we
Harvard?
Modify that.
That just helps Harvard and UCLA and UCal Berkeley and I mean y'all helping those schools. Why? They're like, you know, basically factories of anti-American propaganda. And now they're getting a big influx of cash because of the Chinese students. I mean, I know President Trump has always been very pro-Chinese student. I just don't understand it for the life of me. Those are 600,000 spots that American kids won't get.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And apart from from the national security risk that this poses, think about all the students that are American that were born here, that their grandparents and maybe even their parents fought for this country, right? And they don't even get a shot at college because we're just importing all these people. Like, at what point is enough enough? Seriously, at what fucking point is enough enough in this country? I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick and tired of hearing that Americans and white people are not good enough and that we need to be replaced because we fucking suck. No, how about fuck you? Fuck you. Fuck you politicians. Fuck you anybody that wants to replace the white people in this country and wants to replace the Americans. It's totally disgusting. It's terrible. It's terrible. No. White people are smart. Americans are smart. We deserve a spot. Okay, we need to deport all the illegals, get them out of here. Like I said on yesterday's stream, a good starting point would be 2.5 million people a year, considering that on paper, that's what Biden let in, right? So no, actually, we don't need to be letting more people into the country study at our universities. No, actually, we don't need to be letting more people come in and just simply work here, right? And allow them to stay because, oh, they work in the service industry. We can't find any work. No, hey, how about we let Americans, how about we have white people get those jobs, huh? How about we do that? How about we try that first? Is that too outlandish for everybody? Is that a crazy notion for everybody? Am I not allowed to say that? Am I not allowed to say that as a white 21-year-old male? That, hey, like maybe we should give Americans a shot. Maybe we should give white people a shot in this country, in our country, as Americans, as patriots. Is that a crazy thing to say? I mean, it's just totally outrageous. Just the audacity from these people and from the Trump administration, who I voted for, and I regret it, man. I regret it. The audacity from these fucktards like Howard Lutnick, right? Lutnick. Lutnut. Anyways, the audacity from them to go around and going on TV saying, well, you know, if we don't let the 600,000 Chinese students in, then, you know what, maybe they're going to go somewhere else and then they're going to be even more powerful. So we have to just let them replace the Americans and the white people. Like, no, dude, no, stop it. I don't want the Chinese here. I don't want the freaking all the immigrants here. I don't want the Somalians eating their cats here. I don't want them eating their dogs here. I don't want the illegals making burritos and tacos out on the street. I don't care if they work in the service industry. No, dude, they're not legal. They need to get out. They need to leave. And it doesn't mean that I hate them. It doesn't mean that I think that they're less human, that they're less superior than us, than as white people. It doesn't mean any of that. We have laws in this country. We are supposed to be a serious country, right? And I would say the same exact thing for Canada, too. Why is Canada getting overridden by Indians and, you know, all kinds of illegal immigrants, right? These countries, they hate us. They hate us. And that is the main thing. And that right there sums up why I will not vote for the Republicans in the future. I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. What have we ever gotten from the Republican Party? What have we ever gotten from them? Nothing. Not a single damn thing have we gotten from them. It's despicable, man. It's despicable. And it all comes down to them hating us because they hate us. Because they think that, oh, we'll just vote for them no matter what. Because they're like, oh, well, you know, what we need to focus on is we need to focus on the black vote because they're a questionable vote. We need to focus on the women. They're a questionable vote. But whenever it comes to white people and the white Republican, oh, you know, they'll just, it's fine. They'll just vote for us. We can just pretty much screw them over however we want. You know what? They're going to come back and they're going to give us our vote next year. And they sit back. And I guarantee you, behind closed doors, they all talk like that, man. And they all know that. And this idea that we just need to keep funneling our votes to them is like, get that shit out of here, dude. This whole two-party system has got to go. It's got to go, dude. And, you know, ultimately, you can't even call it a two-party system. Ultimately, it is a one-party system because all these guys are buddies. The Republicans and the Democrats, they're all friends. They all hang out together. You see videos of them on the House floor all the time, and they're just chatting it up, and they're smiling. They're, how are you guys? And then us peasants, we have to eat this shit up and be like, you know, oh, you have to vote for us because they're the enemy. They're the enemy over there. The Democrats are the enemy, and you have to vote for us because we're not the enemy. And it's like, no, dude, you guys both suck. You guys are terrible. It's awful. It's awful. It's terrible, and it's a disgrace to America. So, again, let me know what you guys think in chat about this. If you guys think that I'm cooking, or if you guys think that I'm retarded, let me know what you guys think in chat. If you guys are in Rumble, say what's up. If you guys are in Twitch, say what's up. Again, this is a live show. We go live Monday through Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern at night. And we also release episodes on YouTube and Rumble on Fridays. I have one coming out this Friday. So if you guys want to, be sure to follow the channel and also subscribe to the YouTube channel, or follow the Rumble channel, whatever it is. And yeah, man, be sure to do that. It really helps out the stream a lot. I'll tell you what. Let me pin this right here real quick. Yeah. Also, if you guys are in X, go ahead and retweet the stream. Go ahead and retweet the stream for me. Again, sorry. Yeah, and again, this is just the second episode in the podcast, so I'm still trying to get some of the kinks worked out. But anyways, we'll get it all figured out. Anyways, that's kind of all I had to say on that. I mean, it just really disgusts me. And again, sorry for all the cursing and, you know, the past like 5-10 minutes or whatever. But I mean, it just really bothers me, man. It's like, no, like, dude, listen, white people are not just like these fat slobs who like don't know anything. Like we are a serious people, you know? Like, yeah, like some of our people, yeah, they're like disgusting and they drink Mountain Dew all day, right? But like in general, like white people, we are like, it is okay to be white. Like, it is fucking okay to be white. Like, we should not have to be ashamed of that. We should not be told that, oh, well, we have to import all kinds of immigrants because the white people just will not do it and because they're lazy and because they suck. Like, no, that is like so disgusting. That is like so disparaging to our race and to our people. Like, it's just, it's so, I don't know how people put up with it, man. I really don't get it. So, yeah. But anyways, we're going to go to our next story. Again, like I talked about, I don't really like to talk about this story, but we'll go ahead and talk about the Cracker Barrel crash out, how they absolutely freaked out, and how everybody's crashing out, basically, over the Cracker Barrel. Even Donald Trump is getting in on this. Donald Trump commented today on the Cracker Barrel situation over the logo. And it's funny, I put out a tweet, and I was like, you know, Donald Trump cares more about the Cracker Barrel logo than mass deportations, and it did pretty well on Twitter, but... So anyways, the article says here, it's a CBS News article. It says Cracker Barrel to return its old logo after backlash. And let's see. The article says here, less than a week after unveiling a controversial new logo that prompted the company's stock value to take a dive and even President Trump to weigh in, Cracker Barrel announced Tuesday that it will return to its old logo. We thank our guests for sharing your voices and love for Cracker Barrel, the popular Southern-themed restaurant chain announced in a post to social media. We said we would listen. We have. Our new logo is going away, and our old-timer will remain. Let's go. Big news for the unemployed. W news for the unemployed. Last week, it suddenly announced that it was changing its logo to remove the image of a man sitting on a chair, leaning against a barrel, and replacing it with a logo that only featured the chain's name. The Tennessee-based Cracker Barrel, which has more than 650 locations in 44 states, saw Wall Street revolt of sorts as it lost a staggering nearly $100 million in market value after releasing the new logo, which is part of an ongoing effort to update its image by adding new menu items and redecorating its stores. So I think that's a pretty good synopsis idea to give you an idea of like what exactly is going on here, right? I mean, essentially what happened, for everybody who doesn't know, is that Cracker Barrel, they have this, infamous logo where it looks just like real old-timey, real Southern, right? You have the guy sitting on the chair next to a barrel, and it's a Cracker Barrel, right? Well, anyways, they replaced it, made it super modern and gay and just dumb, and everybody lost their shit. And here is my main problem with this. Here's my main beef with it, dude, is it's like, look, do I like the Cracker Barrel rebrand? Obviously not. Like, I think it's so dumb. Like, why mess with it, dude? It's been around for so long. Like, why? Like, there's no point in even changing it. But the thing is, and I think Landon, who's in chat right now, I think he said something similar to this too, is that like more people care about the Cracker Barrel logo than they do about millions of immigrants being poured into our country. And it's like, what? I almost have to like pause for a moment, because it's like, what? We care more about a fucking Cracker Barrel logo. We care more about a fucking restaurant logo than we do like the actual health and like well-being of our nation. Like, honestly, like honest to God, more people have probably thought about the Cracker Barrel logo rebrand than they have about homeless veterans on the streets in the past 48 hours. Guarantee it. And that really is my main problem with it, is it's like, yeah, like I don't like it, but at the same time, like it has gotten so much hype. And maybe this is just our society now. And I was thinking about this earlier too, like maybe this is just our society now. Like maybe we are just so cooked and we are so dumbed down as a society, as a people, that like, we just like, we'll just eat any slop. And maybe this kind of goes into the topic we were talking about earlier. Maybe this is why the Republicans think so low of us, is because they see everybody like, because you already know, like everybody eats in a Cracker Barrel is going to be like a Republican. Not everybody, but most of the people eating there are going to be right wing. They're going to be right leaning. It's a very traditional restaurant, right? They see this shit and they're like, yo, like we can just throw them slop or whatever. Look at this Cracker Barrel logo. They're eating it up, right? Look at this news about the stupid, restaurant logo. They're eating this crap up. Look how easy we can scam them, Like, it's just so crazy to me. It's so insane to me, And it's like, the thing is, it's like, dude, like people like, and again, this goes back to the conversation. It all kind of ties in a way. It's weird. It all kind of ties in, because it's like, on one hand, like, yeah, like, do some of our people, like, as like white people, as Americans, like, are we kind of dumb? Are we kind of fat? Are we kind of like, yeah, but it's like, is that all of our people? Like, no, obviously, but it's like, at the same time, you have the Cracker Barrel. It's like people are just eating it up, and it's like, look, like this is not who we have to be. We don't have to be the people getting outraged over a stupid logo, Like we don't have to go down this road, and like, even that's what I'm talking about. Like, even the smart people in the country are like eating this crap up, and like talking about it all day. And a lot of it's probably engagement bait, but it's put on the timeline. But I mean, I'm just seeing it all over Twitter. Bro, Chacho, it's a logo. It's just true. Hurry up, Drew. What? Wait, what's going on? Oh, Sadie is. Oh, my bad. Sorry, Sadie. I totally forgot. My bad. Anyways, yeah. So that's kind of my thoughts on the whole Cracker Barrel logo. And again, I have a little chat GPT story we'll get to, but let me go ahead and get to Sadie, because I told Sadie she would come on the podcast today. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm sorry, Sadie, for keeping you waiting. Yeah, here we go. Let me check. Let me go to Discord real quick. Hold up. Let me get it set up here. Let me get all my stuff set up here, chat. But yeah, it's like this loud vocal minority that's like giving hell over the Cracker Barrel stuff. It's crazy. I don't know why I'm so like caught up on it. I think it just blows my mind, man. It's like, dude, we are thinking about a logo, dude. Get over it. It's dumb. It's gay. We know. Nobody likes it. Big news for the unemployed. So, all right. Chaos Cast. Let's see here. Join voice.
Oh, look who we have here.
Sadie, what's going on? What's
How are you, buddy?
I'm good. How are you?
New? I'm good.
Nothing much. Just crashing out over the Cracker Barrel news. I'll tell you what. It's
Oh, I didn't even mention that. I totally forgot about it. Have you seen a decline in your local Cracker Barrel sales?
Oh, I haven't. Well, it's really not even that I've been. Hang on one second. Let me get set up here. I don't know what's going on with this. Can you hear me? Is everything good for the audio? Okay, cool. So I mean, like, my big deal was like, do I like the new Cracker Barrel logo rebrand? Like, no, obviously. But at the same time, it's like people have thought more about this topic than they have like homeless veterans in the past 48 hours, or they thought about, like illegal immigrants entering the country, or about like even the freaking Epstein files for that matter. They're like, people are just so obsessed over just dumb crap.
Well, I mean, sure, but I do think it's a larger statement than that. It is like it created millions of dollars of losses in market value. Like there have been real consequences from this thing, and every time something like this does happen, uh, it is a push back towards like American traditionalism. Like I do like seeing like the general public, even though it is something that is so mundane and silly, it's a foundation of like American memories and tradition and family, right? Like I can talk about hundreds of Cracker Barrel trips with family and coworkers and everything else that we have experienced at this great American restaurant. So I think it's a little bit of it's nostalgia, it's tradition, it's yearning for the minds. We are
Yeah.
yearning for the minds as a society. But I do think that there is like a more interesting point of view about the entire thing of what is turning, the millennial gray of corporate America. Why is McDonald's turning into boxes? Why is, Taco Bell's turning into gray boxes? Why are all of these stores, why is the charm being taken away? And I
Yeah.
finally saw somebody like actually explain it from like an investment point of view. Would you rather have like a Pizza Hut go out of business that's like a gray box that you can turn into your own thing once you move in, or do you want to be the vape shop that's in the old Pizza Hut? So a lot of these branding initiatives is for like resale on the value in the future if the business goes under.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even necessarily disagree with any of that. I actually agree with you on all of that. My problem is that I don't feel like people are approaching it from that point of view. At least from what I've seen, they're approaching it more from like, oh, did you see that like Cracker Barrel had a new logo and like it used to be this and now it's this and like that's just dumb, And it's like,
Well, yeah,
like
I mean,
people like us are talking about it like obviously like on a deeper level, and like that's why I'm saying like I agree with you on all of that, and like the market value of. I mean, I just read an article where it was like they lost $100 million or something. And so obviously, like, yeah, like that's a big financial story. I just think that the way that people are approaching it is just totally retarded. It's like we need to be talking about like what you were talking about, like the meaning behind it, like how we're losing tradition, like in our society, and how like things used to be great, and America used to be a great country, and now like everything's just freaking fat and gay and like ugly, and like we need to be talking more about that and not just like, oh, like look at the logo, it's so ugly,
yeah,
So
I mean, but again, it was done. It's over now. Like
it is.
the
Yeah, he
team
walked it
won.
back. He
It
walked it
took him
back.
for
Yeah.
the team.
Yep.
The president made the comment, and again, like there's plenty of criticism that you can make there. Is like we're making comments about Cracker Barrel logos, have said nothing about Carmelo Anthony. There are plenty of criticisms to take from this entire thing, but I do think that, especially as a collective, that the only real power that we have accessible that's impactful is to vote with our dollars.
Hmm.
And people like Bud Light, people like SeaWorld is another one for a totally different reason, because like of a horrible documentary that they refused to get in front of. It was like a place that, was making a lot of money, major theme park that's pretty much been destroyed from that. It is like the most impactful thing that the American people can do, and the
Yeah.
easiest thing to take a stance again. But I do think that, two things can be true at once. While this was happening, Trump did mention the Epstein files again. We did get Ghislaine Maxwell releases from that bullshit interview. It's not like these conversations aren't all ongoing at once.
Yeah. So what I mean, so you mentioned like voting with your dollar, and like that's the most important thing that we can do, is like
Most impactful. Most
yeah,
impactful.
okay. Yes, like most impactful thing we can do. What would you say about like where are you on like the voting for Republican issue? Like you personally, will you still vote for Republicans, or are you kind of just over it? You're like, I'm not voting for either. Like the whole two-party system is broken. Because that's where I'm kind of at right now. I'm kind of at the point where I'm like, I don't want to vote for Republicans or Democrats. Like at this point, I'm like, okay, like say we don't vote Republican and the Democrats take some seats back in the House. Good. Like maybe that'll be a learning lesson for them. Like I feel like we're just getting scammed over and over again by the Republicans. So what do you think about that?
I disagree. I don't feel like either party as a whole has anybody's best interest at heart. Uh, but I do see a shift happening in the Republican Party as somebody who's in their 40s, that wasn't apparent under the last 5 presidencies that I worked under. I've had a job
Mm,
since Bill Clinton was in office.
mm,
So while I've seen like a very sanitized view of politics for most of my life, where it was something in the
yeah.
background. The Obama hope and change was a little like agenda push that happened that everybody got behind, then everybody kind of went back to sleep and nobody really gave a fuck that we like lost a lot of civil liberties. We increased our military campaigning. Nobody from Wall Street ever went to jail. We didn't get the Patriot Act, but we got NDAA, and now they can use deceptive propaganda against us. So I
Yep.
was like working and paying attention during that entire era, which like made me move to the woods in 2015, where I was like, all hope is lost. There's no coming back from this. We're so over. And then Trump came to
Yep.
the scene. And to even have this conversation with somebody in your age group gives me hope where I had lost it before. To even see conversations happening like RFK today, again, said in the cabinet meeting, he is coming forth with evidence in September about what causes autism. He said that in March. He said it again today. September is a couple days away. So they're not turning away from it, they're going towards it.
We'll see, and
I
I
think
would actually
that,
agree with that. That is something that I will say that RFK and Tulsi those two have actually done a pretty good job
right.
in the administration, and that's where I would give the administration props in those two respects, for bringing
Yeah,
them on.
and
But as far,
that's what I'm saying. Like,
yeah,
there's already glimmers where there was nothing, dude. So like, I already voted for Gary Johnson. I already was a libertarian. I already went down that path. And
mm,
when it comes down to it, do you want two people at the end of the road that we have to pick from, or do you want 5 people at the end of the road that we have to pick from, and one guy gets 22%?
mm. Well,
And
here's
most of the country is like, no, 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 that's not what we wanted at all. But
yeah.
22% of the country now is forcing us. It has to be a two-party system at the end of the day. We need the majority of the country to pick that person. So I'm hoping for a
Mhm.
change, further change in the Republican Party that we can actually see and be a part of and do over the next 20 years. I may be wrong though. Maybe a lost cause. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't even. And again, like this is where we agree. I'm trying to get more. I'm trying to get better about like explaining my positions clearly because I don't know. This has been like a problem for me. But like whenever I say like the two-party system is a failure, I don't mean like get rid of it and like replace it with something like like the UK has, where they have like 5 different parties, or even Canada I think has the same system. Where it's like multiple different parties rising up. I don't even mean that. I just mean like the idea between like we have to vote for a Democrat or we have to vote for a Republican, or like just like the broader idea of like, okay, like like the Republicans have done a good job and the Democrats have done a good job. Like those ideas right there, and like the idea that these parties don't need to be like reformed and stuff, that needs to go. I know a lot of people feel like that, but at the end of the day, it's like people are still like voting for it. So what I'm saying is that like we just need to like not vote. Like we just need to just not participate in the system. And you know what? Maybe some failure and some victories for the Democrat Party will force the Republicans to come forward, because at the end of the day, like the Republicans, they want power, right? And what is the way they're going to get power? They're going to get it by votes. And so if we withhold our votes from them, and they know that we're not just going to vote for them for whatever, then like that might actually be a way to reform the Republican Party, like you're saying, and actually get the change that we want, instead of just voting for them just unconsciously and just giving away our vote every time.
No, that's so funny to me because I only voted for a Republican for Trump.
Got you,
So
got
I
you.
guess like I just have like a broader view of like how this works. And
Yeah.
again, like we're in a new era of politics. You're only used to seeing this. This
Mhm.
is all that you know. This is what you're experiencing in your adult life. And this is something that I was begging for 30 years. So I
Yeah.
do understand the the shift that it's going to take. We're not turning a dune buggy, we're turning a cruise ship, right? And that takes a long time. And it's going to take people getting primaried out. It's going to take fights like with Thomas Massey. There's things that I
Yeah.
don't agree with Trump with. Thomas Massey is my boy. I love Thomas Massey. There is nothing that Thomas Massey has said that I believe is wrong. And I do want to see more people in the Republican Party inspired to be like Thomas Massey. But there is a Thomas Massey, and there wasn't one before. You know, like even if there was Ron Paul, he wasn't getting like the airtime or the publicity or anything that politics is today because of Trump. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm excited to see what's next. I don't even think it's going to be JD Vance particularly. I think that it's.
I disagree. They're
I
going to
think
put
it's
him up
gonna,
there.
I don't think they will. I think that he's going to be probably a 12-year vice president.
See, I just don't see that. I think that they
I can
put
see
JD
them
Vance
trying for
specifically.
DeSantis first.
Yeah, I mean, you know, there will be a primary and stuff, but ultimately, I think the reason why they chose JD Vance for the vice president or Trump is so that he could have 4 years to kind of prove himself, and the people can be like, oh, like look at how awesome JD Vance is. He already has 4 years of experience, and he's like super epic based. What they don't tell you is that he's like basically like, you know, is financed by Peter Thiel, and like that's how he got his start, right? And if people know anything about Peter Thiel, then it's like,
Tell me why Peter Thiel is bad.
well, I'm not a fan of Palantir, right? And obviously, Peter Thiel is a co-founder of Palantir. And so I don't like the idea of, you know, these guys getting in there and getting their AI systems and basically setting up tracking and tracing systems for everybody and having this big, like, surveillance grid go down, right? And obviously, like, JD Vance is a catalyst for Peter Thiel. Like that, like, you know, if Peter Thiel gives him, what was it, like $10 million for his Senate race back in, like, 2022?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, if he gave him $10 million for
yeah,
that.
against like a 20-year incumbent, Tim Ryan from the Democrats, a seat that was like never going to be flipped.
Yeah. So exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if Peter Thiel is willing to finance JD Vance to that extent, what do you think that Peter Thiel is asking back, you know, for return for that investment, right? I mean, like these people don't just give out money and they just say, "Hey, here you go. Now have a grand old time." No, like he obviously wants something back, and I think it's clear that even with the Doge, you know, team getting into government, like this was a big way that Palantir got their grip in the federal government and in these databases was through Doge, right? Through Elon Musk.
That happened 20 years ago after 9/11 during the Patriot Act, how Palantir got their grip on the United States through the NSA, actually.
I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying that they got even more of a grip. I'm just saying they got even more of a grip through, you know, the Doge team coming in and stuff. And I think the intentions of Doge.
How do you expect us to ensure that we stop the flow of illegal immigration into this country and that we get rid of the people that are here without some sort of like digital tracing and tracking system? And do you think it's actually safer in the hands of a private company or safer in the hands of, say, the government, the NSA, which is already doing the exact same thing? Which, like, how do you, in a real world scenario, you know, Palantir, you walk into the airport, you take a picture of your face at TSA now, all Palantir stuff. But the reason that they're doing it is because there's been people flying all over the country for the last 4 years with no IDs. We have no idea where we are, but we at least got their photos in those digital captures. So
yeah, for them to do
we want to get
what
rid
though?
of them.
I mean, we're not even at a million deportations. So it's like they're collecting all this data for what? Like ultimately it's gonna be for nothing, and it's all just an excuse to spy on Americans more and to steal more of our rights.
Oh, yeah, I agree with you. So how do we get rid of the people that are here?
Well,
how do we identify the people that are here, and how do we get rid of them?
Well, I think first we got to get a serious government in there. I think that's the first step. I think first that Trump is just going to have to leave because I don't think that we're going to get mass deportations under Trump. So ultimately, it's going to take it's not going to be under this administration that we're going to get mass deportations. But you know, I do think that I don't even necessarily disagree with the big beautiful bill with more money for ICE if they were actually going to use it for that.
But how many deportations do you think there have been so far?
I saw a figure that said that there were like 700,000 confirmed deportations so far in the country.
And how many self deportations?
I think Landon mentioned a figure of like somewhere around I don't think it was a million. It was
We're over
maybe like 100,000 or
1.2.
something. It might have been a
So we're
million.
already at like 2 million people since Trump took office in the first term, or in the second term, in the first year of the second term.
But again,
When
the
I
whole
last talked to you,
I don't
you
I
told
just
me it would take 1 million people this year for you to say that we got mass deportations, and now we're already almost at 2.
well again, like I said yesterday, I think that if we do 2.5 million deportations per year, that would be a good starting point for us, right? I think that would be a good starting point because that's how many people that are on paper coming in under Biden, right? Obviously, there's way more than that.
Yeah,
I would say
yeah,
probably
for
20
sure.
million.
Yeah.
But I'd say
I think
2.5
there's
million.
30
But
to
again,
50
on the
million.
self-deportation stats, I mean, from all the stuff that I saw, it was a total and complete failure, right? So I mean, I don't know where you're getting where are you getting the million the million number at? Where are you getting the 1.2 million that have so-called self-deported? And how was that
I mean,
being
that
counted?
was what the mainstream media was reporting through the CBP Home app, which obviously would be tracked because it's through the CBP Home app. Plus, they're
So
getting $1,000 if they get out of here. They're giving them $1,000 to get out of here.
So
So
are,
I'm sure
are they
there's
just
plenty
kind
of
of
people.
are they just saying, hey, like, are they just clicking self-deport and then they're just getting the money and then they're
No,
just
you got to
staying, or
check
like?
through. You got to send it. No, you go through. You got to go through the port. It's the exact same thing that the CBP One app did, except in reverse. So you get your appointment at the point of entry. You get your plane ticket out of here. You get $1,000.
Yeah, and again, I mean, if that's going on, then that's great. But I mean, from all the stuff that I saw, it's not been that much of a that much of a success. It's been kind of a failure. And because I think I saw that like on one of the deportations flights, they only had like 50 people on it or something, and they ended up having to like shut the program down. I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked into that aspect of it. I just know that I saw the 700,000 figure from actual deportations, and considering that, what did they just get? All the money that they got from the BBB totaled like billions of dollars, and we're only like deporting through ICE like 700,000 people out of here, and we had like 20 million people come in under Biden. And I mean, shoot, in total, how many illegals are probably here? I mean, it's probably somewhere closer to 50
Probably
million in
close to
total.
50
Yeah,
million people.
I would say close to
Absolutely.
50
Well,
million. So
that's my point. So we're going to have to ramp up somewhere. There's obviously a bunch of stuff that's being held up in the courts, which I don't think that you're really giving any kind of like grace to either. We just federalized DC. There's open raids going on there. I just traveled from Tennessee to Florida twice in the last 2 months. Unmarked cars everywhere. People getting like spread eagled out. Groups of people getting pulled over on the side of the road. So like, I hear you, but from like what I'm seeing and like where the tables are being set in the first 6 months of this administration, I think that like truly the best is yet to come. We're just getting started. And these things are getting slapped down. Neil Gorsuch today sent down, his it's not a dissent, it's when they agree, whatever his agreement. That for a 5-4 decision that was like the lower courts can't keep ignoring what the Supreme Court is saying. Like these things have to go through. They keep pushing stuff through and we're getting a front row seat to how fucked the judicial system is too. So like I'm super excited about the things that are happening. All of you need to understand this. You already understand how corrupt the government is. Now you need to see how corrupt the judicial system is. We're going to have to instill martial law and actually go into these big cities and clean them out if you want what you want. And the only way that we are going to do this is if we actually know who these people are and have some sort of track on them. And that
but
was
I
brought
don't
to
think
you
the
by
way to
your
do that is
friends at
create like
Plan
this
and
big
Paper.
AI tracking grid that puts literally everybody's information into it, and then they can just pull. I mean, that just sounds just completely retarded to me.
I agree. That's why I opted out of Real ID, and that's why I opted out of the facial recognition scans at the airport. You need to know your rights.
Well, good, yeah, and that's awesome, and that's great, and
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
what people need to do. That's the only way that we're going to combat this stuff. But we have a real big problem that we can't seem to get rid of. And I don't like hear anybody talking about, okay, well, what's the alternative then? What's the alternative if you want to see 50 million people deported? Well, then, okay, how?
mhm. Yeah. Well, I mean, one thing like you brought up earlier is we're gonna have to do something about these courts. I think that would get
Yep.
like that would solve a lot of
Yeah.
issues right now, because a lot of the stuff going on is being blocked by these like local courts who think they have jurisdiction over the whole U.S. They can just say
Right.
like whatever they say go. They basically think they're God. They basically think they
Right.
could rule a decision, right, and it counts all the way over in like freaking, I don't know, like Beijing or something. It's
Right,
insane.
absolutely. And well, but again, this is what everybody has to understand about how this operates. Trump couldn't go in on the first day and just boom enact martial law and roll into Chicago as much as everybody wanted to see that. That's an erosion of our rights. We have to set the stage. You have to see Brandon Johnson. You have to see the mayor of Boston. You have to see all these people refuse to protect their population. We have to go through the steps until the reason is there to go in there and clean this shit up. And that's what we're witnessing right now. And I've got the patience, man. I've got 4 years of this, like 3.5 years left of this. Shit, don't even get me started talking about the midterms. That's 15 months from now. What was happening 15 months ago, Drew?
Oh, it was a shit show. It was a shit show under Biden.
But what was happening? What was the news 15 months ago? What happened 15 months ago that would influence your decision on the midterms 15 months from now? Okay? Like, we have to get closer. We are living in an era of TikTok brain, no attention span, 24-hour news cycle, 6 weeks of fear, all that kind of stuff.
Well, here's what I would
The
say.
stuff is going to start lighting up by July 4th, 2026. And that's when it needs to start lighting up for it to make an impact for the midterms. The
Well,
rest is just stage setting until then.
Well, here's why I think that people are skeptical, and why, like, you know, me myself, I don't really see this stuff going anywhere, is because you look at what we were promised, right? Like, they came out and said it. I think I forget what the guy's name that was the guy who's supposed to be over deportations for this new administration.
Tom Homan.
Tom Homan, yes, exactly, yeah. Tom Homan came out and said, "Look, we're gonna have mass deportations day freaking one. It's gonna be epic.
Mm-hmm.
Every illegal you know, and their parents, and their friends, and their freaking cousins, and their uncles, and their dogs are getting deported, right? Every single person on day one. That was the promise,
Yeah, it's
right?
called rhetoric.
You go,
That's called rhetoric.
you
Yeah,
go,
it's
you
called
go to the
rhetoric. Yeah.
But again, wasn't Trump's whole thing? Wasn't Trump's whole thing like, you know, promises made, promises kept? That was obviously not a promise
and he's
kept.
got 4 years to do it. And if you really thought
But he
that
said,
the
but he said
rhetoric
day
was
one.
day one, yeah, but it meant right away, and it did start right away. Whether or not you like it, Tom Homan was on the third week of January doing live streams of deportation raids with Dr.
I
Phil.
disagree.
Like,
I
it's all right
disagree.
there, dude.
We haven't seen the deportations. We haven't seen the mass deportation yet, like in the scale that they were talking about. We just haven't seen it. They just haven't followed through on that. So you look at something like that.
We've got a bunch of federal judges hopping in the way, and once we clear all this stuff out, and the only way that it's going to do it is going to be by use of the military, dude. We're moving into like an era of martial law and city takeovers. You're going to get your mass deportations, but you're going to have to see first that your country hates you, your judges hate you, and they don't give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about ruining this country and creating a class
I
of
agree.
second class citizens. But it's a story, and you just have no patience, and that's fine. Like that I totally understand that. I did not have any patience for it at your age either. But I see the stage being set. I see the moves being made, and I am like locked in, dude. I cannot wait for these next 3.
Well, if I saw, it would be a different story if, so like, here, let me just continue on what I was saying. So, like, for example, we have the day one comments, right? Obviously, that did not go through. We have the whole Epstein files. Trump was going on interviews saying, "Are you going to release the Epstein?" They would say, "Are you going to release Epstein's files?" Yes, we're going to release the Epstein files, right? You have everybody hyping up Kash Patel and freaking Dan Bongino getting in there, being like, "Oh, they're going to go rogue. They're going to expose everything," right? Did fucking nothing. They did nothing, and they suck. They all lied about the Epstein stuff. Every single one of them lied about it. Actually covered up for Epstein. Trump is now.
I love this. I love this. Listen to this, guys. He wants the set. He wants the trap set. He wants the trap set. He wants the people to go to jail, but he wants his hand held, and he wants a front row seat to exactly how the game is going to be played so we can actually capture these people. It's insane. Like, this perspective is insane to me, Drew, because this is exactly what I hear people like you saying, is that they want this stuff cleaned up, but they can't fathom that there are certain things that have to happen before you're going to get what you want.
So in order to get what we want, we have to cover up for elite pedophiles. Got it. Great.
The crossfire hurricane shit with Obama leads to the Clinton Foundation with Hillary Clinton, leads to the Global Clinton Initiative,
which leads to Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, and it's going to be a boomerang that hits everybody in the face. You're not going to get anything that happened in these trials. Why? Because Jeffrey Epstein was tried and convicted with 151 victims. 138 of them were paid out through his estate. He was tried and convicted of trafficking himself, not to anybody else. The government didn't do that. It's going to have to come a different way. Because
See,
if you
this just
have not
sounds like
figured this
cope.
out yet, our intelligence agencies have no problem fabricating bullshit and putting it in files about people. That's literally what's being exposed right now in the Crossfire Hurricane shit. It's just so funny to me that everybody's like, well, expose it the way that I want it exposed and hold my hands in the first 8 months of this administration. Do it exactly the way I want. We have 3.5 years. And no, Trump never said he was going to release the Epstein files. He hemmed and hawed about it every time it was asked in an interview. 4 times. It was Kash Patel that absolutely was going off about it. It was Pam Bondi that absolutely was going off about it, and they deserve to be held accountable. Trump was asked 4 times, and all 4 times he said, well, I don't know. I don't know what's in it. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. You guys have just like constructed this whole
This
thing.
is such
Not to
cope.
mention, like,
This
the
is such
Epstein thing
cope.
in itself is insane. The
This is
Epstein
just
thing
like
in
such
itself has
cope.
turned insane.
This is
No,
just
I'm
such
42
cope
years
and
old
just
and I've
such like
actually been
5e
watching it.
chess.
I
Like,
don't
look,
get my
here's what
news
you don't
from X.
understand.
Like,
Trump is
it's
basically
insane.
Trump is this chess mastermind, and he's gonna throw this boomerang around. And it's gonna basically what's gonna happen is gonna have all these unintended consequences. It's gonna go
literally
through this, gonna go
happening.
through the Clinton Foundation. It's gonna go through this, and then basically it's gonna come
It
all the way back
happened.
around, and
It's
then we're
all
gonna get exactly what we
happening.
want. No, hey, how
It's
about this? How about
literally
this?
all happening.
We're getting fucking scammed. We're getting scammed.
You're getting scammed by thinking the Epstein situation was anything but a creepy, disgusting, open pedophile that all of these people had no problem doing business with. That was the scandal.
That's literally my
I've been
claim.
on
My
this
claim
shit
is that
since
he is a pedophile,
2008.
and that justice be
No,
served. Let the heavens
your
fall.
claim, no, y'all's claim is that there was some kind of insane blackmail ring. There was something going on at the island with like kids and adrenochrome and all this shit. Like, it goes down cute paths real quick. But the story about Epstein,
I have said that
when
Jeffrey Epstein himself was a
started,
pedophile. That is not my position. My position is not that Jeffrey Epstein's innocent. He was just this bystander and all of it, just this facilitator. No, like I think he very much was involved in it. And I think that he was very
right.
much a part of Israeli intelligence. Yes.
Okay, yeah, and Jeffrey Epstein was an open pedophile, and he gave money to MIT, and they took it, and he gave money to Harvard, and they took it, and he set up meetings with Bill Clinton in Russia to design supercomputers for Russia's nuclear program. He introduced MIT professors to the Nobel laureate program. The entire story around Epstein was that Epstein was this very well-connected person that was making all of these meetings with all of these people, and he was a pedophile and nobody gave a fuck. That was the story. There was no story about some sort of he's setting people up with these kids and all this other shit. There was a little bit of that with Bill Clinton and Prince Andrew, and that's it. You think Stephen Hawking was going to the island and he was raping kids, Drew?
So you
Or do you
really
think
believe that
that
there is
Epstein?
no? So they're just it just ends there. It just ends there. That he's just this
No,
very
I
well
think that
connected
Israeli.
guy, and there's just no
Yes,
He's
yes,
not blackmailing
absolutely, it
anybody. Let's
wasn't.
not be crazy. He's not blackmailing
No, he was
anybody, and
probably
he just happened
offering
to be a
Israeli.
pedophile. Like
Did you not listen to anything that I said? He was probably offering Israeli intelligence information on MIT professors, Nobel laureates, Russia
but you don't think
supercomputers, and
there's
the
any sort
nuclear
of like
program.
sexual aspect to any of
Absolutely.
these people that he was trapping them with?
Unfortunately, because I watched this case for so long, if there was, it's all destroyed and it doesn't matter. Where the evidence always was with Anthony
It
Weiner's
doesn't matter.
laptop, which
Move
you
on.
don't.
We have nothing. It's okay. Even though Trump has
No,
flip-flopped
because
on it 4 times.
it's with Anthony Weiner's laptop, which you don't mention. It's with Hillary Clinton and the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, which you don't mention. It's the Clinton Foundation and Syria and Libya, which you don't mention. You're stuck on this Epstein shit, and there's real stuff
It's just
happening, like
so
all
cope
around it.
because if
And
you
it's
would have went
no,
back, said
it's
you would
not
have
cope.
agreed with me.
You
You would have
all
agreed
have
with me
roasted into this
before the
whole.
election.
No,
You
I
would have
didn't.
agreed
I've
with
been.
me.
No, I didn't. Before the election,
You
and
would
my
have
position
agreed
has
with
always
everything that
been
we're saying.
there's
But
no
now that
lip.
Trump is coming out
No,
and saying
I
there's nothing
didn't.
there, all of a sudden we
Anybody
as
at
MAGA just have to accept it with open
can,
arms.
can vouch for Sadie. Sadie never said, I always said we were never going to see a list. You can go back and watch the tapes because I've actually been watching this shit since 2008 and I understand how intelligence operations work. And I think it's real fucking dumb if you think that they took really good notes on every single move of what was happening. There was a lot of word of mouth shit that happened. Jeffrey Epstein was like, "Yep, Bill Gates is going to meet the Russians on supercomputers." If you want to read through files of that, go ahead. Most of the shit that Jeffrey Epstein was involved with is
No
financial
evidence,
crime,
guys.
and that's how it's going to come back around, and that's what you're going to find out. If you
No
want to
evidence,
talk about
nothing to see here. Trump is perfect.
if you want to talk about evidence, if you want to talk about pedophiles, go back
No
to the
evidence,
Podesta stuff
guys.
where there's
Time to move
actual
on.
evidence.
Come on. This
Go
makes Trump
back
look
to
bad. We don't
Anthony
need to make
Weiner
Trump look
laptop.
bad.
I go back to the Anthony Weiner laptop where there's actually evidence. There was no evidence of Jeffrey Epstein because you're right. It was an intelligence operation. Sorry, you're not going to get the files for an intelligence operation, dude. Like and I've
Yeah,
said
it wasn't a
this from the
intelligence
beginning.
operation, and it was one that Trump insinuated multiple times that he would blow the lid on. But okay,
No,
I guess
he
it
was
doesn't
asked
matter.
and answered. Yeah,
So-
people in his cabinet absolutely did, but it wasn't Trump from the beginning.
This is just insane. This is just insane, Cope. Because I mean, you go back and you look at you can just go back and watch all
You
the
have
clips. There's
no
at least 4 or
evidence.
5 clips that I've seen. There's at least 4 or 5 clips that I've seen where Trump clearly insinuates that, like, yes, we are going to release the Epstein files. Yes, right. That was a promise. Whether you want to admit it or not, that was a promise by his campaign. It absolutely was.
I know.
And people
I'm
were expecting that.
surprised
That's why
that
people were.
this is
Why
that
do you think people were so
big, actually.
outraged? If Trump didn't promise it, people wouldn't have been outraged. But it was the fact that Trump promised
No,
it,
you
and that
guys-
he further
you guys
went
fell
and he
for
freaking hit and he
another-
covered it up. That's why people are pissed.
You fell for another media fucking X bullshit op. Go for it, dude. That's totally fine.
It's the Democrats.
It
The
doesn't
Democrats are doing it to
either
us. The
way
Democrats
for
are
me.
splitting us up.
Oh, it's funny now. Now it's not happening.
Yes, it is
Look how
actually. Yes,
devastating-
it is
I'm
because this is so
actually
clear. This is
surprised
obviously.
with you.
This is
I'm
so
actually
clearly.
surprised with you. I thought you were a little bit smarter than this. I didn't think you were just gonna repeat Nick Fuentes' talking points, bro.
It's not
Who's a
Nick
Fed?
Fuentes talking points. It's the truth.
It
You
is.
can look
It's
into it.
not the
I've done
truth.
multiple shows on this, dude. I've literally
You
put
may
multiple
have,
tweets
but
out about this.
I've-
I've done shows on this. It's so like
Right.
all the problems.
So
Look, this is
I've
one of the
been
reasons
saying
why I
this
voted
before.
for Trump. I wanted mass deportations. I wanted the Epstein shit
Right.
blowed the fuck open.
We're 6
right?
months in.
I wanted all of this. This is specifically why I voted for him. I know what I voted for, and we are not getting it. And that's why I say fuck voting for Republicans ever again. They promise all this shit. They don't fucking come through any time they promise something. They don't.
I'm just surprised that you're like willfully being obtuse about all of the moving parts that are happening. That's all. I'm surprised. Like I'm
not,
surprised
and
you're
like I
just gonna
said,
be
I would be
this
more than willing to
contrarian
wait if we
7
saw
months
signs.
in.
Okay, so
They're
let me
there.
ask you about this. Let me ask you about this
You're
then.
refusing to acknowledge any of them and just interrupting me and mocking me instead of like presenting anything that goes against what I'm saying.
Well, first of all, what you haven't presented anything either. I'm just giving you counterpoints to what you were simply saying. I'm saying that people can just it's an open archive. People can go back and watch the clips. Trump was clear that he was going to release the Epstein file. Like that wasn't even debated. But now all of a sudden that Trump says, "Oh, we don't need to release the Epstein files." MAGA comes along and they say, "Oh, well, actually, Trump actually didn't say it. Actually, Trump didn't say that."
He didn't. He never said it at a rally. He never
whatever.
made it a promise. He told us MLK, JFK, RFK files. We got all 3.
Okay, all right.
That's what was promised.
Well, I guess we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that. But I'm curious to see your thoughts on the 600K Chinese students coming in, and like what is the idea behind that? What is the thought behind that? And letting all of these Chinese students come in and basically like learn at our universities and take spots from Americans, just to bring all the information back to China.
What was said about it?
Well, Trump said today in a press conference that he was going to allow 600,000 Chinese students to come in and study at our universities, basically giving them visas.
What else? So that's what was said.
Yeah, by Trump, and then because
there
there was out
for these 600,000 Chinese students, or what we're getting in return.
No, the way that Trump had made it sound was that it kind of sounded like he wanted a working relationship with China. And so I think the intention for him behind it was, hey, since they're being pretty complicit with the tariffs and stuff, we want a better relation with China. We're going to let their students come and study here. That was kind of the vibe that I got from it. But my counterpoint to that would be like China has been screwing us for, I mean, as long as I've been alive, right? Like why? Like we don't need to be being soft on them, right? We can have a working relationship with them, but as far as like letting them come in and study in our universities and take the information that we're giving them and then send all that shit back to China, especially when we're in what Trump calls an AI race, right? It makes no sense to me. I don't see the game plan with that. So I don't know if you had any thoughts on
Yeah,
that
I don't
or.
know.
Okay,
No,
gotcha.
I mean, I want to see what the plan is. Like, I obviously, like, I didn't say anything about the flag burning thing until I read the EO today for the same reason, because I didn't read like the exact wording of the EO. There are two sections that I agree with, and there are two sections that I don't agree with. So it would have to like kind of be the same thing. Like, and that's what
Hmm.
I'm talking about. Like, I don't really have positions to take on early things or things that Trump just says off the cuff. One thing
Hmm.
that I will say about this is that there's 300,000 Chinese students currently. There's 300,000 Indian students currently in the US. And I'm interested to know what the vacuum is going to be from these mass deportations that aren't happening for all these illegal students that are in our colleges and I guess not going anywhere. And
Yeah.
if this is some sort of ploy to keep our universities and our colleges afloat, because they know that with this vacuum that's inevitably going to happen, we don't have even the available students to help the problems that these universities have created for themselves. So I wonder if it had something to do with that
We'll see.
too.
And I think that's actually a similar point that Howard Lutnick made. He said, look, if we don't allow them in here, then like our colleges are basically going to crumble, and they're just going to go somewhere else better and get better information. So we might as well just let them in here, right? That's what Howard Lutnick, he made a statement about it today. But I just don't buy this whole argument, and this kind of goes along with like the illegal immigrant argument, where it's like, oh, like we just need to let all these people stay here and work here, because if we don't, then the economy is going to crash and there's nobody to replace the jobs. It's like, no, like I think that white people are very capable and very smart,
Hmm.
and especially Americans in general are very smart and very capable to take these jobs. And I think you can find people to replace them, but I think it's just a talking point that tries to like demoralize us and make us think that, oh no, we need these foreigners here. No, we don't. Like we need them
No,
out.
I agree with that, but I also am going to take the position that we don't need universities and colleges either. So,
I don't know
I
if I
think
agree with that, but
well, I don't think that we do at the rate that we have them or the people attending that we have them, especially if we're going to move back towards a manufacturing based economy. We definitely
mm,
need to be investing in trade schools for Americans. We need to make them very accessible and very affordable. And really like people that are going to school to be like lawyers and shit need to go to universities, not people that are going to like seek an interior design degree, which ultimately gets them into a shitload of student debt. And ultimately it turns them into a debt slave to the system. You've got a mortgage and it's a piece of paper. It's not a house you can live in for the rest of your life at an inflated APR. So like
hey,
I'm
if I want a
almost like,
gender studies
are
degree,
they,
if I want a gender
I
study
hope
degree,
they're,
I want to pay
I
$100,000
hope
for it. Okay.
I hope the ultimate effect is to trap a bunch of Chinese students into American loans and ruin them for the rest of their
Oh
lives.
man, it's crazy where I live. I mean, around the area where I live, there's a lot of tourism going on, and that's literally all it is anymore. It's just foreign students taking these jobs up and just working them, and I'm sure they're going to school here and stuff. And I'm like, really? Like this is what, like in Tennessee, a red state. Like this is
No,
what we
it's
got. This is the
not.
situation we got going on. They can't even speak English. Half of them cannot even speak
Yeah,
English.
I
You go up to the
agree.
counter and they're like, oh, do you like? I'll go to Chipotle for example. Great example here. I'll go to Chipotle. The whole store, whenever it first started, right? This store was like clean. It was very uppity Chipotle. Okay. Now when you go, it's all foreigners working it. The ground is like fucking disgusting. There's like rice and chicken and like queso
Ugh,
everywhere.
that's
You go up to
disgusting.
the counter to order food, and it's like the guy can like barely speak English. He's like, you want burrito? You want burrito? You want rye? You want chicken? You want steak? He can barely speak English. And then you go over to the sides. It's another one of these guys. You're trying to tell me like, no, like I want tomatoes. And you're like, oh, lettuce. No, like no, no, no lettuce, no. And then you go over to pay, and then like you try to talk to him, be like, hey, I'd like to drink to go. And they can't understand you. I mean, it's just like the whole way through is just a fucking terrible experience. And then you try to go throw your stuff away, and the whole trash can is just like filled up to the brim. Nobody
Hmm.
wants to change it.
No,
Go to the bathrooms; they're disgusting. They're filthy. I mean,
hmm
the
I
tables are
agree
always
with
nasty. They have
I
shit
agree
all
with
over
you.
them. Like, it's like what the like what like they want to talk about like, oh, we'll have nobody to freaking fill these jobs. Well, good. Maybe the place would look better if there wasn't all these foreigners in there. Like maybe the
Right.
place would actually be less of a dump if we didn't have these people in there.
Well, again, I'm just like asking the question, like, how the hell do you scrape all these people out of here and get them the hell out of here? Like, we have antiquated systems across the United States. Like, have you called ICE? Like, apparently you can do that. Did you know that? You can just call ICE and like report people. Like, I know
That is
people who
funny
have
though.
reported like
Yeah,
12,
yeah, yeah.
15 people
Well, I know you can
already.
report people,
Like,
yeah, but I thought you meant like give him
You know what I
tips,
mean?
like give him like be like, hey, like you're doing a shit job. Come on, like do better.
No, well, I'm sure you could do that too if you want to. But you can actually like you can call ICE. Like, and I do think like I also though, there's a part of me that's like I don't want to call ICE because if the liberals or some totalitarian authoritarian government comes in and I'm on that list of like this is a citizen that's willing to call ICE, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of a catch-22. Like it's just I'm like, how do you fix this? How do you fix this? And I don't know any other way to except with the
No,
use
I
of
mean
like
it
some
is
real
it is a good question.
authoritarian fucked up shit for a while, dude.
No, I mean I agree. I agree. The whole system is fucked up. We have to have some solution soon because if we don't, like the whole country is just going to go underwater. Like we cannot keep living like this, especially with the debt. I mean, the debt is an issue of its own. And then you get into the issue of like we're talking about right now. Like okay, how the hell do we get these foreigners out of here? Like how do we stop our culture from fucking decaying? And it's like I really, I mean, off the top of my head, I don't really have an answer, but there's got to be some other way than sticking everybody into a big AI database that they can then, it's like Patriot Act, like fucking, but like on steroids. There's got to be some other way we can go about this without having to go down that route. And I mean, the government,
I
like
mean,
these
the
governments
only
know.
other the NSA, dude. Like this was the big fight when I was your age. Was the NSA was doing this, and the
Mhm.
NSA was tracking all of us and logging all of us and shit. So that's my question: what is safer at the end of the day? Giving it to a consolidated foreign or power that is our U.S. government, or having it regulated by the government in the hands of a private company? And
But again,
I don't
Palantir.
have an
The thing
answer.
is, Palantir is signing contracts with the CIA. Like that is their main contractor, is it not?
Hmm.
So it's like in a
And the
way, is it even a
NSA.
private corporation anymore?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think you can say the same thing then about like SpaceX.
Yeah.
Are they a private corporation because they're doing so? Like, that's the thing. Like, we want the innovation in this country. We want to be able to scrape people out of this country that shouldn't be here. We don't want our retirement information held in a limestone cave. Who has the ability to organize all this information? Like, it's just, I think that what I was getting at, and it's all in good fun. I love you, Drew.
Oh, I know, I
It's
know.
all in
Yeah,
good
it's all,
fun.
it's all. Yeah, no, no,
It's all
no.
good.
Yeah, no
We're
offense,
all
no
we're
offense
just
taken.
all we're joshing around here.
Exactly,
But that's
exactly.
why I ask people, and I've asked multiple people, and my jury's still out. I'm not saying that my mind can't be changed. I just haven't had a good answer yet of why I should not like Peter Thiel. You know,
Interesting.
like yeah,
Yeah.
I understand. I
What
understand
about
like all the scary shit around it, but what's our other options here?
what about this? What if I told you that Peter Thiel is giving a 4-part lecture series on the nature of the Antichrist?
Yeah, yeah, I saw
Would that
that
would that make
actually,
you
and it's
change your mind a little
crazy. Yeah,
bit?
I mean, I want to know what he has to say, though, don't you? Are you at
I
least
mean, yeah,
intrigued
it's
to hear what
it's
this
interesting,
person
but as far as like
has
liking the
to
guy,
say?
like no, like I just see him as like a supervillain. I see him as a supervillain in the same way that I see some of the Democrats as a supervillain. I don't think he's on our team. I don't. I just don't believe that. And I also, if JD Vance gets the nomination, I won't be voting for JD Vance. No, I'm not going to do it. I will not do it.
That's fine. I understand. I understand that. Like again,
And
like
probably
it's
same for Ron
MAGA
DeSantis
for
too, by
me.
the way. Probably won't vote for Ron DeSantis either.
I understand that too. I said that I'll probably be writing in Trump until the day I die after this. So, but again, from a
Yeah.
person who was like, here were my choices, dude. Do you want George Bush or do you want who the fuck, John Kerry? Do you want Barack Obama or John McCain? Do you want Barack Obama or John Kerry? Do you want Clinton or Trump? And I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me? I get to vote for somebody who I know didn't send my friends to war. He didn't cause like my friends to lose their houses in the Wall Street crash. He didn't do 9/11. I know for a fact that he had nothing to do with 9/11. As a matter of fact, the guy was on ground zero reporting there. It was the cleanest vote I've ever had. And you're right. I can't say the same thing about JD Vance. He is a politician.
Mm-hmm.
Trump was not. It's
Based.
as
But
simple as
yeah, I
that.
mean, I mean, I don't even, I know a lot of these people go around being like, "Oh, you fell for it again, award. You voted for it." I can't that shit on
Hmm.
Twitter. I think it's so dumb because at the time, we know what we know now in hindsight. We know a lot of the stuff, a lot of the failures of this administration, in my opinion. We know it in hindsight. And I know there were people calling it out. But with the whole atmosphere around the Trump administration, and especially like what everybody thought about Trump at the time, we all thought that Trump was like this and again, I think he has good intentions. I don't think that like Trump's like the devil or anything like that, but for what we were promised the past like 2 years, it didn't make sense. The first year he was blocked by a lot of the people that were in the administration. So we thought, oh, the second time around, this will be his last term. He's not going to give a crap anymore. He's going to go rogue. Well, the second time it got stolen from him. So we all thought that, hey, maybe this time he'll come around. He'll just go rogue. He'll go crazy. And a lot of the shit that we want change will get done under this administration. So that's why I say, like, I don't even blame people for voting for Trump. Me personally, I do regret voting for Trump because of what we know now, from what I'm seeing, in my opinion. But I'm not going to be one of these guys who's like, fell for it again, award, look, freaking retard over here, voted for Trump. I think that's just so, I think it's so goofy.
Again, like, it's coming, dude. Like, federalizing.
And you know what, Sadie? I hope you're right. I really do. I pray that you're right. I'm not
talking about going into Chicago, no matter what the mayor or the governor says. Like,
that would be sick. And you know what? I would support Trump all the way on that. If you see, and I'll tell you right now, if we see Trump actually start doing some of the stuff that he promised, I will support Trump hands down. It's like I'm like on like an anti-Trump rant.
Cities already, dude. It's not only DC. They're in Houston. They're in other places. This is happening. And by the way, 15 months ago, Michael Cohen was testifying in Trump's financial case. So that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, 15 months is a long fucking time. And I think this administration, more than anything else, understands timing, whether or not people want to. For example, the Iran stuff, I was laughing on this channel. I said, we're not going to be talking about this in July, dude. It was the end of June.
See, that's another thing. That's another thing that stuff that just,
right. But I voted for an anti-war candidate. I did not listen, I voted for an anti-war candidate. I did not vote for a candidate that wasn't allowed to use the U.S. military in organized tactical strikes. And Trump has been saying that he was going to do this forever. That's something I can pull up and show you over and over again, that Trump has been consistent that they cannot have a nuclear program, whatever, even though I don't agree with it necessarily. If Iran's a sovereign country, why can't they? But there's other stuff like with the Ayatollah and the religion and the shit in that area that definitely needs to be considered as well. I think that the U.S. population has such war fatigue, and I do, man. It was my friends that were going off to war to fight for 9/11 in countries that had nothing to do with 9/11. So I don't know what that was about still to this day. Seeing these people go over there and spend these 25 years there, I understand why the American reaction to any kind of war intervention is, I don't like this. But we're going to have to be okay with like tactical use of our military where necessary. Like that is something that I am okay with, It didn't turn into this
if it was actually for us and it like
war
benefited
that
us
it
in
was
some
going to.
sense. Yeah, I mean, if it was for us and it benefited us in for some sense, like I don't even think, in principle, I necessarily like disagree with that. If it was a direct threat to the United States, like I don't think I disagree with that. My problem is that,
Well, I mean,
Iran, I don't think is a they are a direct threat in a sense, but for what they struck them for was obviously for Israel, right? For what Israel wanted.
Well, they were making open threats on U.S. targets. And Trump told them multiple times to stop making open threats on U.S. targets.
What are you talking about in regards to this strike?
Yes, they were told multiple times to stop making threats on U.S. targets, and they were still making threats on our airfields and shit around in the area. So that's what, to me, that's what that's about right there.
Well, again,
now,
that might have been, like, I don't know, that
might have been shit, whatever too. Again, we got a statement from this president that I think is the only real statement that we've gotten about Israel in many administrations. And these two countries have been fighting so long, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That is a direct quote that came from the sitting U.S. president. The only time that crack has even happened in the entire APAC scandal that's around there. So again, dude, for me, timing is everything. And I want to see how these 4 years play out before I suddenly just throw my hands in the air and say, oh, no, like, the stage is being set.
Well, and I will say, and it was funny whenever he came out and said, listen, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. That was actually that was a pretty funny moment. But, then he's also going out and he's like pulling the chair out for Bibi Netanyahu. He's pulling his chair for him. And I think he even called him a couple weeks ago, he called him a war hero, right? Because everybody's calling him a war criminal. He said, no, Bibi Netanyahu, he's a war hero, okay? He's a great guy, wonderful guy, right? So, I mean, like, yeah, like he made that one remark about, Israel during the conflict. But it's obvious. Like Trump is a pro-Israel guy. Like he's gonna side with Bibi Netanyahu every time, right?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
personally might want diplomacy, but the swamp creatures that are infested and the Zionists that are infested within this administration, they wanted that strike. They were betting on that strike. And
No,
my problem with it
absolutely.
is,
I agree
yeah,
with that.
and my problem with it was is that Trump said himself, he's like, I am a no new no new wars, like that was his slogan. And then he comes out and I mean he even called it himself the 12-day war, you know. So I just think that right there, I just think I think it's another one of those things that promises made, promises not kept. So it's not to
Yeah,
hate on and it's literally not to like prey on Trump's downfall. It's like I'm sitting here and being like, please Trump fail so I can criticize you. I want Trump to do well. If Biden would have done well, I would have said the same. I would have been like, good job, Biden, like W Biden, I don't care. I don't give a shit who it is. My problem is I just don't see Trump delivering on these things, and I just want Trump to do better. That's where I come at it from. I
Well,
don't come
and
at
I
it from a
guess
place of
my
hate.
expectation is to be disappointed with anybody who's in power, to speak out about the things that I don't agree with, but to also prioritize those things and find out whether or not they're truly meaningful in the grand scheme of things. And I'm sorry, like, to me, as somebody who's been following the case since 2008, the Epstein thing is a nothing burger and is going to be a nothing burger forever. And it's not something I give a shit about in the grand scheme of things. What I give a shit about in the grand scheme of things is what was going on with Hillary Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, John Podesta, Anthony Weiner, the Podesta emails, WikiLeaks, Seth Rich, all of those things that are brewing in the background connected to this crossfire hurricane, shit that we have actual evidence for, shit that Mar-a-Lago was raided for, shit that I know that Kash Patel and Donald Trump actually preserved, and we didn't have our disgusting intelligence agencies all over it to fuck with the facts so the American people can never know what's going on. Listen, dude, I even read those MLK files, okay, and they were disgusting. And as I was reading them, I was sitting there asking myself, is any of this real? And
Yeah.
how many people are going to walk away from this on our side, calling Martin Luther King a disgusting, degenerate, rapist, all of this stuff, because we're reading this intelligence report of all of from the same people who sent him a letter to say it's a good idea for you to kill yourself. If you don't do it, we're going to do it to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm
Yeah.
like, we have a much bigger problem. We're at war with the intelligence agencies. We're at war with the judicial system. And dude, we've made so many strides. Did you think you would live in a world where there's no Roe v. Wade?
Yeah, I mean,
I did.
that's a great accomplishment stuff. But that happened back in what, like 2022 under Biden though.
Right now, the next thing that's on deck is Aberfell, gay marriage, because the same precedent is going to set. Because here in Tennessee, you want to go marry a dog in California, we have to recognize that marriage because of that ruling. The same stages are being set. That's being heard in the Supreme Court in the upcoming weeks from the woman who refused, Kim Wheeler, the woman that refused to file the marriage certificate. Like in the coming weeks, the Supreme Court's hearing same-sex marriages. The Supreme Court's hearing Department of Education. We're hearing birthright citizenship. Like, this is insane shit happening. I never thought I was going to live to see the day.
Well, again, and I know because I hear the chirps about it too, and I see it on Twitter and everything, especially about the gay marriage stuff. That is one thing that I'm vehemently against. I think that needs to just be banned. It needs to be nuked. I mean, quite frankly, like the whole idea that we would even allow that is disgusting. In a Christian country where the Bible clearly teaches, like clear as day, marriage between a man and a woman, that it's covenant before God. And that's the reason why the state recognizes it, and to take that and to just bring it down to this, oh, well, like, I like you and you like me, and like we make out and stuff and we're married, it's like, what the fuck?
Well, and that's the thing. The way it stands right now, any state can pass any law about any marriage they want. So they can say, in Dearborn, Michigan, we recognize a marriage between a 40-year-old man and a 9-year-old girl. And when they come to Tennessee, we have to recognize them as a married couple. So, like, what needs to happen is our states need to take their rights back, and we need to be able to say in this state, we recognize it between a man and a woman, just like you're not getting an abortion in Tennessee, and we don't care if it was rape or incest. It's not happening in this state. Like, these are the things that, and it started with COVID, with Trump and COVID turning over the powers to the states. I don't know if you lived in Tennessee while COVID was happening, but my life didn't change much at all out here. We were continuing on with our day-to-day life. We had less than 50% of the state got vaccinated. We weren't having any of that bullshit. because the powers were returned to the governors, and that's what I'm excited for over the next 4 years. Tennessee, boom, baby, I'm never leaving. We're making some amazing strides
Oh,
here in
I'm
this
I'm
in
I'm
this
never
state,
leaving
dude.
either. I mean, I do. Don't
I
get me
love
wrong. I
this
like to
state.
travel and stuff, but I'll never move from Tennessee. Tennessee's a great state, and it's got
Beautiful.
yeah, it's wonderful. I will say that there was some COVID restrictions that I dealt with. Especially like because I was in. I mean, shoot, whenever freaking COVID was going, I was in high school, so I mean, we were having to like wear the masks and stuff all the time, and we had to do that
Mhm.
crap. And I remember I was actually in Hawaii whenever COVID first started, and we flew back like literally like
No
the day we
way.
got back is the day that the lockdown started. Yeah, that we got back home
No
from
shit.
Hawaii.
You're lucky,
Yeah,
dude.
no,
Yeah, you're
seriously,
lucky you
yeah.
didn't get
And
stuck
all
out
the flight
there.
attendants at the freaking Delta desk were like, "Oh, it's fine. It's not gonna be this big deal. Everybody just hyping it up, yada yada." If we would have listened to them, we would have been stuck in Hawaii for like months, not been able to get back home. So, anyways, but yeah, when we got back, like I think it was a few days later, we tried to go to like this like state park and go take a walk, because the whole world was freaking
Mhm.
shutting down. We're like, oh, what else are we gonna do? Try to go take a walk. There was like state troopers sitting there being like, it's unsafe for you guys to walk outside. You guys can't be here, whatever.
Are you serious?
Yeah, seriously. And I mean, in all
Holy
fairness, it
cow.
only lasted like maybe like a month or two. Then after that, the state was kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
like whatever. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
in
I
the
feel like
initial
everybody
stages, it
shut
was,
down for those 45 days. It was like 45
yeah,
days we all sat on our asses. Then everybody in Tennessee was like, all right, we're going back to work.
yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. No, they tried to call school. They tried to call school back in and everything. I remember that. And then eventually they were just like, yeah, we're out for the rest of the year, whatever. Just screw it and stuff,
Insane, dude.
So it is crazy. Well,
Anything else? Is this a good place? This is a good place, right?
I think so. Yes, I think so. I appreciate you coming on, Sadie. It was a good conversation. Good talking about everything. It's always good to catch up and hear because I like to hear all the different
Yeah, for
perspectives.
sure.
I try to get a balanced view of everything, but it's hard to do that sometimes whenever you're like looking on X and your whole feed is just like like
Yeah, no,
just
absolutely.
yeah, you
Absolutely.
know how
I
X is,
totally
but
understand that, dude. I do.
so
But
it's always good to
I'm fine with agreeing to disagree. And I'm fine with people
yeah,
that like really like take a stance on this Epstein thing. Like I totally get it. I really do. And there are a lot of things I'm super concerned about when it comes to child sex trafficking, like the our health administrator, RFK Jr., talking about the 300,000 missing undocumented migrant children, talking
yep,
about thousands of them were registered to a parking lot, to storage containers, to strip malls, like all of this crazy stuff. We have actual evidence in real time of human sex trafficking, human trafficking happening, and the administration's taking those steps forward. And that's what I'm worried about. I'm worried about what's happening right now. I'm not worried about what happened 40 years ago. It's just, it is what it is.
interesting. Okay, well,
Uh,
awesome, Sadie.
Totally
Appreciate you
done that.
coming on. We'll have to do it
Thanks,
again.
dude.
Yep, yeah, we'll definitely do it again, and y'all come back on, and it'll be a good time. So, all right,
Sounds good. Later,
see you,
dude.
Sadie. All right, everybody. Great conversation. We love Sadie, by the way. W Sadie. I know we have some disagreements and stuff about Trump and everything and the nature of Trump, but she's always fun to have on the show. It's always a good time having her on the show. One last thing before we get off here, I want to read some of the chats that people have wrote in here. Let's see. I have let's see here. Glock Orange. Not gonna lie, is that a man or a woman? That's crazy. It is a woman. It is a woman. Let's see here. Glockwork Orange. Let's see here. Is this a rerun stream? No, it's not. It's not. Sorry, I just didn't see any of the chats. I'm sorry. My bad. Glock, I don't know why they look like other people's grandchildren to me. The young people in this age have been pummeled by the foods they eat full of freaky chemical. That is true. Wait, Drew Chandler, you're a groiper. Here's the thing. I like Nick Fuentes. I agree with some of the stuff he says. I disagree with some of the stuff he says. But actually, I actually like Nick. I don't take a hostile. I'll take a hostile position towards him at all. I actually really like Nick. I think he's a very smart dude. I think he gets a lot of shit for no reason. I think a lot of people. I think a lot of people don't understand Nick or his position. I think that Nick has been treated very unfairly. So. I will say that about Nick, and I watch his show and stuff. I think he's a smart dude. I like him. So, the Chinese students are part of the tariffs deal, obviously. Yeah. Didn't mean to delete the comment. Yo, Pentuple rating. Let's go with the party of 6, right? Let's go. W. Let's see here. Let me reload this YouTube stream real quick. See what we got going on here. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the whole YouTube stuff. We're just going to have to get more people in the streams, I guess. My YouTube channel is kind of dead. So, yeah, we got about 6 people watching on Rumble as well. Welcome everybody in the Rumble chat if you guys are watching. Welcome everybody in the Rumble chat and also in the Twitch chat and also in the X chat as well. Salutations. Yeah, all right. Yeah, salutations, Landon. See ya, brother. Or wait, does that mean hello or bye? Kind of retarded. So, you lost. How did I lose that? What do you mean? I thought I took a W there. I thought I took a W. I mean, look, I love Sadie, but it's just a fact. We can go back and we can pull up the clips. There's all kinds of clips out there of Trump insinuating that, yes, like he would release the Epstein stuff. On Substance 81? How? What'd she say? What did she say to Substance? Where are the links? Where are the clips that she pulled up? Where? Because from my perspective, she was saying stuff and I was saying stuff, and it's up to the viewer to just kind of go look it up for themselves, you know? That's my perspective on it. That's what I'm saying. So, that's my perspective on it. I just don't think, I just think that whenever you look at, she even brought up the Israel-Iran war too. Trump said he was a no new war candidate. Trump named the conflict between the U.S. and Iran the 12-day war. That is a war. Therefore, Trump has broken a promise. How does that not sound logic? How is that not good on substance? When we go to the Epstein stuff, Trump clearly said he was wanting to release the Epstein stuff. Never released it. Is now covering up for it. Is flip-flopped 4 times on the issue. That's not even debated. That is well documented. We go to the mass deportations. We're not getting the mass deportations like we were promised, especially when they said day 1. How is that not substance? How is that not substantive? The substance of the Epstein stuff, that Trump never actually promised it. He never did. He was on a podcast when he was asked about it. He said it was something he would consider. Trump never ran on he was starting a new war in his 24 campaign. See, this is all just cope. This is to me. And look, I get it, Landon, that you like Trump and stuff, but you have to admit, like, this is all just cope, bro. Look, you have to look back. You have to get past like the Trump, because I get it, dude. I used to love Trump too. I used to be like a ride or die Trump fan. I used to be like one of those guys who was like, oh yeah, whatever Trump does is good. It's base to support Trump no matter what. I used to be one of those guys, dude. But like, I don't know if it's just with age or what it is, but it's just like, the older I get, the more I just see it for what it is, you know? Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You know what I'm saying? 700 forceful and 1.6 million. See, the whole 1.6 million self-deportations, I just don't know. I just don't know where you're getting that number from. Sources, okay, here we go. Sources are DHS with CBP1. Media says New York Post, Fox, and other media. Is a couple when I'm quoting what he said. When media quoting what he said. Yeah, I mean, as far as the deportations go, I would just have to look at what exactly the numbers are and what exactly the metric is they're using to, find those numbers, as far as the deportations. So I'm gonna have to look back into it. Like I said, I think 2.5 million is a good starting point. And I'll tell you what, I'll research it more tonight. But from the stuff that I've seen, we're not even near 2.5 million, right? So I'll just have to look at the statistics, see what it says. But yeah, I'll definitely do some research on that and get back to that. And again, yeah, thank you, Penn, or thank you, Sadie, for rating the stream. Appreciate it. Appreciate you. But yeah, let's see here. Yeah, if anybody in chat, anybody in the YouTube chat, if anybody's watching right now, say what's up. And anybody in the Rumble chat as well, if you guys want to say something, feel free to join in. Got Twitch as well. What else do we have? X? I guess I stream on X too, right? Guess I stream on X as well. Got 11 viewers. Nice. Let's go. W. Only for the second episode. That's not bad. Yesterday we were averaging like 10 viewers. Tonight we're averaging around somewhere like 16 viewers. So, hey, let's go. Second episode in. I'll take it, dude. I'll freaking take it across all platforms. Averaging that. Let's go. W. Straight W. Yo, Ice House. What's going on, Ice House? How you doing? How are you? Good seeing you. Love the shirt. Does it come in? Okay, that's crazy. That's crazy. Look, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be so real with you. I just got back from traveling, and I didn't have time to do laundry. So this shirt right here, I don't get me wrong, I wear it a lot, but I didn't pack it for the trip. So this is like one of the clean shirts that I had. I just had to throw on. And I also did go running in this shirt before I came to the studio and started recording. So I didn't have time to take a shower and put another shirt on. So does it come in men's sizes? That's crazy. Oh my gosh. So, but yeah, what's going on, Ice House? I appreciate you being in the stream, bro. I appreciate you being in the stream, man. Coming into the stream. Yeah, you'll have to tune back in, man. You have to tune in earlier. We're actually just about to end the stream. El Automod. Wait, what do you mean? What is Automod? Is that a dumb question? Is that a bad question? Is that L question, chat? Honestly. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys. I got word back today. We're getting a big guest on the podcast. Okay, we're getting a big guest. I think you guys are gonna like it. He's a really cool dude. I've been watching him for a long time. I don't want to say who it is. I wanted just the episode to release, and I want to give a teaser, but it's a really good guest. It's a really big guest, and I'm excited he's gonna come on. So I'm excited for it. Blocked a message. Is that your okay? That's crazy, dude. This is literally a goated chair. I don't know why you guys roast it so much. This chair is literally goated. This is a goated chair. All my homies love this chair. So is the one over there as well. That's a goated chair too. You know, it's a W studio, dude. Honestly, it is kind of funny. I wish you guys could see the studio that like I'm working with right now because it looks really good like behind like back here, but like over here it's kind of a mess right now. I can't even lie. It's it's kind of a funny situation, but yeah. So, anyways, yeah, dudes. I think that's gonna end it for me for the night. I'm tired. I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna go to bed because I have to wake up tomorrow and come to work. I have to come right back here actually for work tomorrow. So, yeah. So, anyways, yeah, man. Appreciate everybody coming out for the stream tonight. God bless you guys. I think we're going to do, what do we say? We're going to do like a Bible study stream or something tomorrow. I was right that you were streaming at work. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I prefer not to dox myself. So, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, hey, look, I may or may not be streaming at work. Who knows? Who knows? I may be at my house. I may be in the basement. I may just be saying that because I'm tired and delirious. Who knows? You know, we'll never know. The world will never know. So, anyways, yeah, dude, it's going to end off with me. I think we are. Are we doing a Bible study stream tomorrow? Or actually, I'll tell you what. Goodbye, Joe. I had to get a workout. W, bro. W workout. But no, actually, I'm being so serious though. Let me know in chat real quick. Do you guys want like a short like type Bible study at the end of each stream, or do you want one stream that's dedicated just to a Bible study? Hate from Baghdad. Yeah, this is what Qatar money gets you. Yeah, W Stro, W workout. I love anything with the Bible. Yeah, I was floating around doing like a Bible study on Wednesdays on the stream and like dedicating Wednesdays to that and doing that. But I also thought about today I was thinking like, well, we could just do regular streams, like news type streams Monday through Thursday. And at the very end of the stream, we can do Bible stuff for like, I don't know, even not like 15, 30 minutes at the end of each stream. I think that might be better than having like one stream dedicated. Because what if there's like big news that day, you know? So that's just kind of my thoughts on it. It's kind of what I'm thinking about it. I don't know what you guys think. Qatar outspent APAC when it comes to that's just not true. It's just not true when you add up all of the other donations. I'll have to get the stat on that too. But I've looked into that too because I saw that claim being floated around, and it's just not true. Yeah, see, overall it is APAC, exactly. And it really isn't even close, yeah. I remember looking that setup because I remember I think it was like Laura Loomer on the timeline maybe was saying that, and I had to go look it up, and I was like, is it true that Qatar spends more money than like freaking APAC in our politics? And like, it's not even close, man. It's so disgusting, the situation we have over in Washington right now. It's insane. So, anyways, man, lobbying specifically, APAC about 30 and Qatar is 230. But also APAC doesn't have to register through, or Israel doesn't have to register through the FAR Act, though. You know, the Foreign Agents registration or whatever it is. So, stealing your setup idea for a stream, by the way. Hey, let's go, W. I would say if you want to get a nice mic, Landon, if you want to get a nice mic for your setup, definitely do a USB Shure mic. That's the one that I had whenever I was connected to my PC, PC in the other place that I was streaming. That's what I did. That chair's good. Thank you, Ice House. That's what I'm talking about. I got a dude you could rate if you want. Yeah, for sure. Give me his stuff. Actually, I don't. Hang on. I can't do it on this. I'm not signed into Twitch right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not signed into Twitch on this computer. I just have to like pull up the stream with my stream link. But Tomorrow's stream we will. Tomorrow's stream we will. I promise you. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry, brother. Amazon. What is this? It says no. Oh, 50. Yeah, that one's a good mic. That one's a good mic too. That one's a really good budget mic. It is. I've seen that one before. You've been lifting, man? Yeah, I mean, I've been trying. Chat, can you tell? Can you tell at all or no? W lift. Yeah, I actually have been trying to work out a little bit. I've been sort of inconsistent about it recently. If I'm going to be completely honest. You look swole since I saw you. Thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, that's I've been eating lots of protein. I've been taking my creatine, and I've also been doing what do you call it? I've also been taking my pre-workout. So, thanks, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate that. Makes me feel good. Looking for a surprise SpongeBob off flex, bro. Yeah, it's that good. It's that good church food, man. It's like, hey, I'll tell you what, man. It's fun, dude. Sometimes after church or after mass, it'd be like me, and then like two of these other people from the parish, and then the priest, and then sometimes there's a brother there that will come, and I don't mean like brother like a black person. I mean like an actual like brother in the church. They'll come and like we'll go to like Cracker Barrel and stuff, and we'll just feast out. Speaking of Cracker Barrel, once again, we'll just like feast out, dude. It's a lot of fun, just chatting it up and stuff. Did that with them one time. It was super fun. I'll have to actually hit them up and see if they want to do that again. But yeah. Yeah, anyways, all right, boys. I'm getting off here for the night. God bless you guys. God bless you, everybody. What are your thoughts on the Freemasons? I'm gonna be real with you, bro. I haven't looked into the Freemasons too much. I do know the Catholic Church is opposed to the Freemasons, so I'm Catholic, so I'm opposed to the Freemasons. I'm opposed to Freemasonry. Doesn't mean that I hate all the Freemasons, but I think it has a very like rebellious spirit to it. And just from what I know about it, I think it is kind of creepy, kind of a creepy like cult like sect type thing, So just anything like that, I try to just like avoid like the plague. But Shaq is a Freemason, really? Wow, you would be a great member. I'd be a great member of the Masons. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, again, like I don't really know much about the Masons. I mean, I would never join the Freemasons because I'm a Catholic, right? And if you join the Masons, you're a Catholic. That's an instant like excommunication. Like we don't do anything with the Masons. So it doesn't mean like I actually do have a friend that's a Freemason. Funnily enough, I actually do have a friend, and actually do have a former like teacher that is a Freemason. So, which is the funny thing. So I do know Freemasons. I mean, I've talked to him about it a little bit. The way that they described it to me, at least around here where I live, is that it's just like a big like club where like dudes just like want to get away from their wives, and like they just hang out and eat, and so like they don't really even take it seriously. But like Freemasonry, like the ideas of it and like the practices of it, I really just don't know much about it, to be honest with you. So. Most Christians wouldn't support Judaism if they knew it was in the Talmud. That is so true. That is so true. Yeah, the Talmud, the idea of like Judeo. You guys are keeping me here with all these chats. I know what you're doing. Yeah, the idea of like Judeo Christianity is just completely false. Complete 100% false. It's just not true. Because Christianity is the fulfillment of Judaism, right? So it's like this whole idea. Oh, it's Judeo Christian. It's just Judeo-Christian. Like, nah, dude, it's just Christian because like Christ fulfilled. He didn't erase. He didn't abolish the law. He fulfilled it, right? Like Christianity, Judaism, completed Judaism is Christianity, So, Christ is king, man. Christ is king. Read my L chats, L Muslims, L Mormons, L Jews, L Hindus. So true. So true. So true. For TOS purposes, again, does not mean that we hate anybody. Does not mean that we despise anybody or anything like that. But the ideas of Islam and the ideas of Mormons and the ideas of Jews and the ideas of Jews and Judaism, the ideas of Hindus and Buddhists and all that kind of stuff. Like all that is just fake and gay. Like just follow Jesus Christ. We love everyone, not just the terror. Yeah, exactly. Islam has the most destructive ideology. Yeah, Islam is definitely a cancer. I would say, well, again, this is a whole other topic for another stream, but I mean, I would say that Judaism is more of a threat to the United States right now than Islam is, to be completely honest with you. I think Judaism and and you know, all that entails, you know, with like saying that, you know, Mary is a whore, the Blessed Mother is a whore, and that Christ is burning in like, you know, piss and shit in hell. Like, you know how disgusting and like how just like how outrageous that is as an ideology. Because, like, you know, hate on Muslims all you want. And again, I am not a Muslim. I am not a Muslim apologist. I think Islam is from the devil. I think it's satanic. But, you know, whenever it comes down to their views on Christ, like, they do think that, like, Christ is a prophet, and they do hold the Mother of God very highly, you know? So you do got to give them props for that. Africa isn't real. So true. Let's see. You have not seen some of the African religions, then, Landon? Oh, bro, we were trying to save that. Yeah, I know, and that's the thing, dude. That's what's sad about that really is what's sad about like Africa when you look into it, because, you know, when the Europeans arrived in Africa, there was no like written language. You know, there was also, sorry, I don't mean to freaking do that. I don't mean to try to like flex or anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. But yeah, no, I mean, there was like no written language. There was no like 2-story buildings. I don't even think they had the wheel. Right, so like these people, like, they genuinely do, like, when like the Africans over in Africa that genuinely are like depraved of like resources, and because they're depraved of resources, like, you know, they tend to like have lower IQs, and they just can't like develop stuff like we can over in, you know, freaking what do you call it? Like modern countries, modern white countries, you know, they just can't develop. So yeah, I mean, Christians, we do need to make it a priority to help, you know, Africa and all those suffering over there and everything like that. And I will say also that we need to put just as much as an emphasis on helping our own streets and helping our own people as well. You know, a lot of people, they go over to be missionaries in Africa. It's like, dude, hey, with how bad the U.S. is right now, you could easily be a missionary in the U.S. all your life. You know, I mean, honest to God, you could. So, yeah. I am America. I love that. No, I haven't watched Kings of Kings yet. No, I haven't. No, I haven't, Ice House. I haven't. But I have not. But yeah. Anyways, have a great night, everybody. Have a wonderful night. God bless you guys. Again, if you guys can, yeah, I'll be sure to check it out. Ice House. If you guys can, be sure to pray for the stream. And that's just the one thing that I ask for. If you guys get an extra moment, please just pray for the stream. Pray for me that my mouth would be clean, and that I wouldn't say any like overly retarded stuff on the stream and everything. And you know, and that you know, that the stream would really take off, and that ultimately it wouldn't glorify me, that it would glorify God, right? That's my hope with all this. I just want people to know about Christ. I don't really care. You know, I think, like I said yesterday, I think DC brand is great. I think it's awesome. But at the end of the day, like, I think that, you know, we need to, it needs to be about Christ. It needs to be very Christ-centered. So, anyways, yeah, well, I see people asking to end off with a prayer. We'll end off with I'll tell you what, we'll end it off with a Hail Mary. How about that? We'll end off with a Hail Mary. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and Holy Spirit. Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, Jesus. Holy Mary, Mother of God, pray for us sinners now and at the hour of our death. Amen. W, boys. W's in the chat. I will be back tomorrow, 10 p.m. Eastern. Don't miss it. We will do I think what I'm going to do, here's one thing I'm going to do, and I promise this is my last thing I'm going to say. Here's what we're going to do. I think I'm just going to do the regular news streams every night, because that's a good catalyst to get people to watch the streams and stuff. And at the end of every stream, I'll have like some Bible stuff, and I'll have a like some like the daily readings is what I'm trying to say from the church. Jeez. Daily readings, and we'll go over the daily readings. How about that? That'll be W. I had a gut feeling it was gonna be a Hail Mary. Dude, you got to support the Blessed Mother, man, because here's what it is. Ultimately, all Mary wants to do is just lead us to Christ, lead us back to her Son. You know, her ultimate love in life, her the only thing that she wants is for people to be brought so close and so dear to her Son. So that's why we as Catholics put such an emphasis on her, because, you know, Mary ultimately, she's not doing it out of her own volition. She doesn't want the praise, the glory. All she wants is that her Son to be glorified, right? So that's why we put such an emphasis on Mary. She's such a role model for us, man. I mean, think about that. Oh my gosh, people are asking me more questions in the chat. You guys, okay. I got to stop here, but anyways, all right. I love you guys, man. Have a great night, everybody. God bless. Peace.